Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
So we've been talking in the past about death piles, and we definitely both, I would say, have them, as do many of the people watching this. A lot of us are, I would say, addicted to buying. I don't think there's any way around that. But we've also talked about some of the pleasure you get out of going through the death piles anew. In other words, you go and you find a box you bought 5 years ago, and you're like, where did this come from? What is this?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Magazine, your thoughts on, you find a box that you bought in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are in 2023. It's been 13 years since you bought the box. You grabbed a couple of things out of it that you made your money back on it, and then it got stuck in the corner, and you just found it. What do you generally, looking at it through 2023 eyes versus 2010 eyes, what hints, tips could you give people on when they find these old things that are in their inventory, on how to approach it, what to do with it, what you could find in there, what it is? And I think that your answer is going to be different than mine, and one of the reasons why is because you deal with a lot more collectible things than I do. In other words, you may find boxes in there of what would have been what we would call junk wax that you bought in 2010. Now all of a sudden you're 2023, and it turns out there was a good rookie in that.
Yeah.
Or hey, a lot of that stuff got open and it's still worthwhile now, whereas it wasn't. Or toys or other things. So you want to tell us, kind of looking at a death pile through 2023 eyes.
Yeah, I'll give you two examples. I'll give you a toy example and a magazine because they both popped into my head. For toys, starting lineups.
Okay. Garbage.
And everyone, well, that's what everyone thinks, and that's what everyone says. And they generally they'll sell the stuff cheap because nobody wants it because they have a bad reputation. Since McFarlane, everyone's collecting McFarlane. But if you go on to even loose ones from the late 80s, the Jordans now are $20-$30 with the card. The card could be worth as much. So, and we have boxes and boxes of these loose. We picked up collections, and you could lot them out by the whole Magic. You're the whole Laker team. He's got Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and you might get $50-$80 for him now. So those are one thing we pulled out and said, geez, these were junk then. And now since COVID or now since Jordan, the whole, all that, and now they're going for, now it's worth listing them, I guess.
And you paid junk prices for them because you bought them when they were junk
50 cents, because usually, one's unopened, $1, $2, unless you're dealing with, the first Jordan or the first
or the Utah Jazz
exactly.
and all that stuff.
But those are things that now I'm like, wow, this is cool. Let's get them on, because some collectors would have them bagged. I found like all the same basketball team or all the Yankees, the 88 Yankees, and the early stuff is worth more money now. I think we put it on a bolo one time, a jet slot, and it wasn't even complete, and they weren't even mint. And they were going for almost $10 a piece loose. Wow. So it's something where, again, you see that at a garage sale, you jump on it now, where if we were at one 10 years ago at a flea market, I'm like, I know. That's how I got that stuff. I got tons of it. I don't need any more.
I've got it carded. Yeah. What do I want loose stuff for?
But I definitely, I don't get tears of joy, but I do get excited and like, wow, I got good inventory that is paid for. I can get good money for it. I have nothing into it. At this point, I have zero into it because it's been sitting for 10 years. I'm getting to magazines. On the adult end, we had, you buy collections, you get all this crap. And over time, whether it's Playboy or common titles, you build them up and you want to sell the better stuff to get your money back. At least that's my business model. I want to, shell out a lot of money. I want to sell the good stuff, get money back, and the rest, sit. So over the course of 10, 12 years, we've had, stores that sold them. We would put them out and we would put the cheaper stuff out. We'll call it crap or lesser stuff. Well, a lot of it's been in storage. Moving things around, going through it, it'll say like common, the box will be labeled, common magazines. And I'm going through these magazines were like $5 to $10. Now we're asking $20 to $25. It's kind of like having stock. So 10, 12 years ago, these magazines were common for me. They weren't going for when people weren't buying them. So they were just sitting in boxes. Now I look through them and I'm like, wow, the stock has gone up because these $5 and $8 and $10 magazines, I'm asking $20, $25 now. And if you think about it, say they were 10 years old 12 years ago, now they're 22, 23 years old,
right?
And now the market's different because there's not many sellers out there,
right? There's no
so I can demand a little more money because where else are they going to find them? And I am Mr. Magazine, so it helps out. But and I get excited too. I was looking through, and I'm like, wow, this is good stuff now. It's paid for inventory that I can get. It's worth listing now. I can get $20, $25, $30 on something. So there you have it.
And I guess where I was going at, and I knew your answer would be completely. Well, that's what makes the channel great, because we come in it from different viewpoints.
Sure.
The way I was looking at it is, I used to buy things at auction, and you'd buy a whole box of stuff at the auction. You'd get some magazines, which is what I wanted out of it, and it had some prints in it, or it had some other stuff in it, or you buy the row of the boxes, the leftovers, and you're like, okay, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with this. I know it's better than to throw away.
Sure.
What am I going to do? And I took the good stuff out of it, what I consider to be the good stuff 10 years ago, 13 years ago, 15 years ago. The rest of it's still sitting. Well, since then, I now sell on Etsy, and I now sell on Whatnot. And those are two different areas that two different types of things sell on. So now when I approach a box, if I were to go out in the garage and I grab a box, I'm not just approaching it from the, will this sell on eBay? Yes, it will. It's a $20 item on eBay, but it may sit for 6 to 8 years. It might never sell.
And there might be 10 on eBay, and someone's asking $3 for one of them. And you could get 10 somewhere else.
Yep. Or, well, usually the stuff that I'm thinking about wouldn't be selling for that, because they're usually brochures, things like that. Okay. But I lap together 3 or 4 brochures on Whatnot, and I get $3 out of it. Big deal, 75 cents each. Yeah. But I'd rather get $3 out of those that I've had sitting out there for 15 years. Yeah. Let somebody else go and sell them the long tail for $15 to $20 a piece. Hey, great, good for them. Yeah. Because, again, as we've said in the past, our businesses have moved. And now I can go and I can buy the better stuff to list and let somebody else, leave a lot of money on the table for somebody else. Sure. But the flip side of that is, if I'm out of the collection and it's been sitting in the garage for the last 20 years, do I want those four brochures still sitting in the garage? Or do I want $3 in my pocket?
$3, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and you might have 40 lots, so it's 3 times 40, $120. Or you're never going to get that on eBay. Correct. You know, if you lot them, no shot. Exactly. Or I would never get around. Or I would get, I might get $1,000 off of it on eBay, but it'll take 10 years and take up all that space, and I would rather pass it along to somebody else. Sure. So I'm coming into it, and the other thing too is there are things that I would have bought years ago because I would happen to have been at an auction where I was pretty much the only paper guy, and so I might have been buying paper lots, even if I wasn't exactly sure what they were. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's really, really cheap. And because I bought 20 different boxes of stuff there for $100, and I got my money out of 2 boxes worth of stuff, the rest of it just got put away. And I'm like, oh, someday I'll sell that stuff. Well, now 20 years on from having had so much different stuff, now I know what it is. Now I know how to market it. Now I know how to sell it. Yeah. Whereas I didn't know 20 years ago. I just knew it was a deal. Yeah. So it is a lot of fun mining your old stock, because you absolutely never know what you might find. I mean, I've got probably no exaggeration, probably 3,000 to 5,000 pieces of sheet music out in the garage. I don't know what they are. They were just things that came in other collections. I just kind of threw them there. Ever do Whatnot with them?
I'm going to once I get them out there. Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly.
When I find them, I just give them to you anyway, so you can add to the pile. Who cares?
Exactly. You know, and there could be some good stuff there. It could be garbage in there. I really don't know. It literally was, you're buying a bunch of stuff from somebody and they go, you want the sheet music? Not really. What if I throw it in? I guess I'll take it then. And you just throw it in a pile. You don't know what's in there.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, we used to put a few here and there on Amazon, and they sell, but like one a month for $8.
Yeah, where you going?
Right, exactly. You know, we're gonna list 1,000 of them and sell one a month. Not gonna make any. I'm not gonna sell 20 a month if I put 1,000. It's still gonna be one a month.
That's true.
It really is.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit. This is more for the longer term sellers that got all the back stock. But even if you're a newer seller and you're buying a lot of stuff, you'll revisit this video in 10 years and go, wow, they were absolutely right. I had stuff sitting there that I bought in 2023 and now it's 2035. Yeah. Who knew? It's great stuff. But no matter whether you're watching this in 2023 or 2035, you can do us a favor and hit the like button.
Right. You could do that.
And we'll see you next video.
I might do that too. Take care. Bye-bye.